Welcome all to Off the Cuff with Namrita. Hope you all are having a wonderful weekend. And today we talk about a compassionate world, a much needed place, especially in the times of division and polarization. And actually, there is an organization called A Compassionate World, and I do have one of the founders of that organization, Seema Vaid, on Off the Cuff today. Seema, welcome to Off the Cuff.
Thank you so much, Namrita. Thanks for having me here.
My pleasure. And a little bit about Seema. Dr. Seema Vaid, an IT professional, is passionate about animal welfare, sustainability, and community service. Her journey toward compassionate living began after she learned about the plight of a captive elephant in India, inspiring her to adopt a vegan lifestyle and support cruelty-free initiatives. She's co-founded A Compassionate World with two other like-minded women, aiming to build a kinder world for all living beings. So a great initiative, and I know you just started this organization. It was founded in 2023.
Yes.
So tell me, before I talk to you about Compassionate World, tell me about your childhood, anything that, triggered this, path for you.
Yeah, so I grew up in Banaras or Varanasi,
Yes.
as some people call it.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I didn't realize what a special place it is. I have a lot more appreciation for it now because it is a very spiritual place.
Yeah.
It's a place that people go to seek peace. And growing up, I actually lived on campus in Banaras Hindu University. So we were surrounded by trees. I have very good memories of, climbing up the mango trees and eating, guavas and mangoes. There was a lot of connection that we had growing up with nature. I always cared about animals, but I did witness animal cruelty, as we all do,
Yes.
on a day-to-day basis. As much as I got kind of upset seeing it, I never thought that I could actually do something about it. I do have one memory of actually going and trying to pet a monkey as a child.
Okay.
And that didn't go very well.
I can understand.
Yeah, but this journey actually started much later for me. I did do some community service as a child.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and this is, so wonderful to know because, I come from a small town to Shimla and I see how our, towns and our childhood environment kind of triggers us to do certain things that we are doing in our adulthood. So that never goes away. And you're so right about, seeing the animal cruelty when we were growing up there. But, the thing was, we didn't give it a thought.
Yeah.
It was more like a norm.
Yes.
Because, okay, street dog hai, so kya hai? Or,
Yeah.
it's on the street or something. So, that has to come from within, I have to say. When a person is ready, and you said that, a news triggered you to find this. So a little bit about the organization now, the Compassionate World, and the impact it's made so far.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll briefly touch upon how this idea came to my mind and why I wanted to start
Yes.
this organization. So I was reading a news item in San Jose Mercury News about this temple elephant called Sundar in India, in one of the temples in India.
Okay.
And having grown up in the northern part of the country, I had never seen elephants in temples, right? So I was very intrigued, and my 5-year-old was sitting with me. And as we were reading, he got really upset, and I got upset too, because this elephant was covered in bruises. He had chains around his legs, and it just was very, very upsetting. And that kind of triggered something in me and my son. So we both, we could not stop thinking about this elephant. And he, in fact, the next day said, Mom, can we do something about it? And so he and I started a petition.
Okay.
That's how I got connected with other like-minded people. And in fact, Sundar's journey ended beautifully because he was rescued and he lived in Bannerghatta Sanctuary in Bangalore.
Okay.
So I then started to read about other forms of animal cruelty. And one of the conversations I was having with a lady, an animal activist, was like, she asked me if I was vegan, and I said, no,
Okay.
I'm vegetarian, but I think I'm living cruelty-free. And that's when she said, do you know what really happens in the dairy industry? And from there on, I started researching, and what I found was extremely disturbing. Also because as a Hindu, I always thought that because we worship cows, we treat them with compassion. But then I realized that the cows are actually separated from their calves within hours of giving birth. And all the milk is then sold commercially, and the cow actually grieves for days.
Wow.
And this cycle continues. And then that also helped me connect some dots, because as a child I had seen something like that, where a cow was actually mourning for her calf. Yeah.
Yeah, they have feelings, it's like any living being, I have to say. That's a powerful story, and very impactful step that you've taken to do something about it through your organization. And I also read in the news recently, now they are, they have these robotic elephants now in some
Yes.
a temple in Kerala,
Yes.
which is kind of, you're carrying on the tradition, but then it's not as brutal on the animal, because they do get upset, and there are so many lives lost also
Yes.
because of what an animal can go through in a crowded place.
Yeah, and
So-
it's not just the that stress that they're exposed to because of all the noise.
Yeah.
As babies, they are taken away from their herds, and there is a process of breaking their spirit. So they are literally beaten for days and starved, these elephants. And again, because we worship Ganesha, that was something that I found very disturbing. But this initiative is really welcome, using robotic elephants. And through our organization, sometime in the future, we hope to donate a robotic elephant.
Oh, that
as well.
would be such wonderful. Yeah. So talking about your organization, can you talk about your collaborations? You have a few organizations you here also and there that you collaborate with.
Yeah.
You do support women artisans. So a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So as Namrita, you said, we started this organization in 2023 because I did not find any other organization that was doing what we wanted to do.
Okay.
So what do we really do? One of our key missions is to make people aware of different forms of animal cruelty,
Okay.
so that they can embrace a compassionate lifestyle as well. And in addition to that, this compassionate lifestyle, for example, if people give up meat and dairy, then their carbon footprint also decreases. Because on a plant-based or vegan diet, you are more sustainable as well. So I think we all are concerned about the planet, about the climate change and all of that. So that is another reason why this lifestyle is really good for all of us. So what we do is we have fundraising events. We go and table at multiple events. For example, Earth Day in Cupertino. Rotary Club has a fall family festival. So family-friendly events where what we do is we hand out plant-based samples so that people know that you can have almond milk or soy milk, or you can have cashew milk yogurt or cheese. So you don't have to give up any of the things that you currently eat. It's just that you are transitioning away from the animal-based products. So this awareness and education is at the core of what we do. But what is also really important that we are engaged in is that we are directly saving animals.
Hmm.
And ever since our inception, we have saved close to 100 animals so
Okay.
far.
Wonderful.
And how we do it is, we have partnered with 2 animal rescue organizations in India. One is Almighty Animals in Tamil Nadu. The other one is Raksha, that is in Prayagraj.
Hmm. Okay.
And I have personally visited Raksha last year.
Hmm.
So these are very dedicated animal rescue organizations, and the biggest challenge for them is the financial part.
Yeah.
Because they rescue an animal, but then they have to care for that animal for the entire life of that animal.
Very true.
Right? So it's a huge commitment.
It is, yeah.
So that is where we step in. Sometimes it's like, I'll give you one example. So there was a cow that had a tight rope around her neck, and in fact she had a wooden piece also. So she may have run away, and like the post was,
Together it came.
yeah, and she was literally starving because the rope was so tight that she was not able to eat or drink. And Raksha, they reached out to us and they said that we need to rescue her ASAP because she's gonna die in a day or two. And that's where we stepped in and we said, we are going to pay for the transportation, we are going to pay for her care. So we transfer funds, and then those funds are used for the care of these injured or sick animals. Sometimes we also step in when an animal is going to be sold for slaughter.
Okay.
So our rescue organization, partner organization, they reach out to us and say, hey, these 2 bulls are going to go to slaughter tomorrow. If you guys can sponsor these animals. So this is how we save animals.
Incredible. And talking of empathy and compassion, it is a human quality that needs to be nurtured, and we need to be more aware of it. And like you're saying, okay, it's to do with humanity, be it any religion.
Yeah.
You can show compassion. But now I see most of the time, words like compassion and empathy have become commodity words.
Exactly.
They're used in a very corporate way and in a very business-like way.
Yeah.
So, you are kind of, started on this path and leading a life by example.
Yes.
So, just a, question that came to my mind was, how can we practice compassion, and what are the first steps towards a compassionate mind?
Yeah, so sharing my personal journey,
Yeah.
It started about 10 years ago. And as I mentioned, when I realized that dairy is extremely cruel, I slowly eliminated. I'm not going to say that it was easy and I did it overnight, but because I felt so strongly that my actions need to connect with my beliefs. Right, and I did not want to be part of any cruelty that we were inflicting on animals or any species for that matter, right? Even humans. So there's interconnectedness. So when we inflict cruelty on an animal, there's also some associated cruelty being inflicted on people as well, right? Because in fact, in the slaughterhouses, the people who work there, they have PTSD. They suffer from having to do that work, right? So, so that was one step I took, is to change my diet.
Okay.
And then as I learned more and more, like, okay, circuses where animals are used, the way they are trained, it's a very brutal process, right? And this we are doing just for our entertainment, when we have so many other avenues, right? So similarly, like when we go for a travel, there are lots of places where you'll hear that, oh, come and
rides,
elephant rides,
Yeah,
right?
I've stopped doing that.
Or swim with dolphins.
I know.
Right? All of those, there is a very dark reality behind it, right? So how we can do this is like in every decision we take, we can be a little bit more mindful.
Right.
Even like the cosmetics we use or the household products, we can check and see if they are cruelty free and if they have not been tested on animals.
Yeah, wonderful answer, and I think it's to do with education and being aware and how strongly you feel about it, you know. Yeah, for me, मैं तो यही कहूँगी, छोटी छोटी अगर आप changes भी ला सकते हैं, you know, that would also help in certain ways, environmentally and otherwise, and you'll see that difference in your life and your way of thinking also. And especially like for me, after having a pet owners will know the
Yes.
empathy towards animals. You know, when I had a pet, I stopped going to the zoo or you know, to see animals in captivity.
Yes.
And
Yes.
like she's talking about the circus or any such restraining environment for any animal. you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Zoos being one of them.
Zoo
as well.
is too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, earlier on we would go so often, and then I said, no, this is just not
Mm.
right.
Yeah.
But, you know, the world is where society lives on terms of capitalism and money making, and, you know, like the rides also. I had gone to this Leh Ladakh, and they were such amazing. Those, I think it's called two hump camel is found only
Oh.
there in Nubra, and people are, you know, riding them. But I could not. I said, and then the thing that comes to mind is, are we helping these local people by riding on them,
Mm.
or are we? So it's a very difficult, you know,
Sometimes it is.
yeah, decision to make, because their earning is dependent on those rides. But it's dependent on how far you want to go and what you feed. Like Seema Sim, and like she, you know, talked about of being vegan.
Mhm.
So I read somewhere that, you know, you are what you eat. You know,
Yes.
and so how can food bring us health and happiness? And any resources that you can share here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Health, I think, is so important, as
Yeah.
we all know,
Mm-hmm.
and we are what we eat.
Mm.
So there are more and more scientific studies that have proven
Mm.
that a plant-based diet, which is rich in green vegetables,
Okay.
fruits,
Mm.
nuts, seeds, that is probably the best diet that we can be on,
Mm.
because it reduces your cholesterol.
Yes.
It, you know,
Mm.
like overall health, even mental health, I would say, is better when you are not consuming the flesh of
Mm.
another living being,
Okay.
right? And some of the resources are, and again, this was a journey for me as I went vegan and discovered new and new products.
Mm.
But if I can tell you that 10 years back, there were very few options. But
Mm.
now,
Very few, yeah.
now you go to the grocery store and half the milk aisle has plant-based milks.
Yes.
Right, so for me, chai was the hardest, as it is for all of us Indians. But then I discovered oat milk,
Yes.
and you can make the best chai and coffee using that milk. And similarly, yogurt also, like I mentioned, Trader Joe's has very good cashew milk yogurt. Those who are non-vegetarians and want to transition to a more plant-based diet, you have options like Impossible Burger,
Oh.
which my sons eat sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, because there is plant-based meat, in fact, plant-based eggs now.
Mm.
During the bird flu, this last few weeks or
Yes.
months, when eggs were in shortage, I read that a lot of people started trying.
Plant-based eggs, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Where
Then-
can you get those?
You can get them in Whole Foods.
Oh, okay.
So there are just eggs, and then I tried there are boiled plant-based eggs, which are
Okay.
called Wonder eggs.
Oh.
You
okay.
can find them in Whole Foods. I have seen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So many such
A lot of
options.
options. Yes. Now, and I think people are thinking on terms of a vegetarian diet as being wholesome and effective. You know, earlier on it was like, okay, protein nahi hai to kya hoga? So
Right.
yeah, and now like she's saying, there's so many options. And so coming towards your organization again, how can people join you? Where can they find you? And everything about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, there is one other thing that we do,
Yes.
which I want to mention.
Mhm.
So we don't want to just rely on donations
Yeah.
for fundraising.
Mhm.
So what we started doing is that we source some exquisitely handmade products from India currently.
Yes.
But we want to spread to other parts of the world also, like source products from artisans from different parts of the world and sell them.
Okay.
So all the profits that we make go towards our animal rescue work.
Okay.
Right? So because
Wonderful.
there is so much that needs to be done. The number of animals that we can rescue, and also the food that we can provide to them. The rescuers are always struggling to even feed the animals that they have rescued, right? So these products are a great way for us to not only help animals but help people as well.
Yeah.
Because the products that we are currently sourcing from Kolkata are helping 6 underprivileged female artisans sustain themselves as well as their families.
Wonderful. And I've seen those products at one of their events, and they're beautiful, so you must check them out.
And the products are dupattas, stoles,
Yeah.
kanta embroidery work, table runners, cushion covers, bags. So we have
That's
lots of
amazing.
variety.
So where can the people find you online?
Yeah. So you can find us. Our website is www.compassionateworldforanimals.org. We are also on Insta. You can look for Compassionate World. It's a.compassionate.world. We are on Facebook and LinkedIn. If you search on Google a compassionate world, the first result that you will see is our website.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very few organizations doing the kind of work you are doing. And I have seen your other team members, and I see the passion in them to make a difference in whichever possible way. And for me personally, I feel that animal cruelty is the worst.
Yes.
I mean, जो बेजुबान होते हैं,
हाँ.
जो कुछ बोल भी नहीं सकते हैं,
बिल्कुल.
we feel they don't even have emotions just because they can't speak. But
Yes.
you look into an eyes of an animal, and you will know. And sometimes, yes, you have to go inhabit the world with them. Leave them in their beautiful sanctuaries and
Yes.
habitats, and let them be.
Let them be.
Absolutely. अगर आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते तो उनको छोड़ दो. Don't be cruel to them. Even anybody, any street dogs or anything.
Yeah.
Don't harm them. Just let them be. And
जैसे birds का example है,
बिल्कुल.
that birds are meant to fly in the sky. They are not meant to be kept in
पिंजरे में नहीं
cages.
रख सकते.
So we have found ways to, to satisfy our own ego. There are people who actually go and shoot animals, as we know. They enjoy it. They say it's a sport. But really, when we say that we are human and we are inherently compassionate, then why are we supporting all of these sort of activities, right? That's the question I have for everyone, that every action you take, do question, do think about whether it's going to impact another living being in a way that is going to cause them some suffering or pain, right?
That's a deep thought, a wonderful question to leave the audience with. Think about it, everyone, and do check out A Compassionate World online. See how you can help them, and maybe have your kids also get involved with that organization. And it's a wonderful place for them to volunteer, I feel also. So thank you so much, Seema, for coming on Off the Cup. It was such a pleasure talking to you, and all the best with your work going ahead. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Namrita, and we are really humbled and grateful for all the support we have received from the community. We have only been in existence for 2 years, but we have received a lot of support from everyone. So thanks for that, and this was a really wonderful, talking to you.
Lovely chatting with you. Thank you all. Take care and be well. Bye for now.
Bye.